Louis Mayer, the scandalous and shocking truths behind the mogul of MGM. Louis Mayer, the visionary co-founder of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, MGM, Studios, was a towering figure in the golden age of Hollywood. While he is often celebrated for his pivotal role in shaping the American film industry, Mayer's life and career were also marked by controversies and lesser-known tales. Here are 10 of the most scandalous and intriguing facts about Louis Mayer that paint a vivid picture of this complex icon. Fact number 1. Early life, personal affairs, and founding MGM. Louis Mayer was born on July 12, 1884, in Minsk, Russian Empire, and emigrated with his family to St. John, New Brunswick, during his childhood. Growing up in poverty, Mayer developed a relentless drive for success. He started his career owning a small chain of movie theaters, then ventured into film distribution and production. In 1924, Mayer's vision led him to orchestrate the merger of Metro Pictures, Goldwyn Pictures, and his own Louis Mayer Pictures to form Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, MGM. As a co-founder, he became the vice president and head of studio operations, transforming MGM into a dominant force in Hollywood with its star-driven, glamorous productions. Mayer married Margaret Schönberg in 1904, with whom he had 2 daughters, Edith and Irene. After Margaret's death in 1957, he married Lorena Layson in 1958, his significantly younger secretary. His family life mirrored his professional demeanor, demanding and controlled, highlighting the complexities of a man who was both revered and feared in the film industry. Number 2. The Iron-Fisted Patriarch. Louis Mayer's reign at MGM is often characterized by his autocratic leadership style, which played a pivotal role in shaping the studio into a Hollywood giant. Mayer's approach to management was rooted in his belief that tight control was necessary for success. According to MGM insiders and historical accounts, he frequently manipulated employees to ensure loyalty and obedience. He was known for orchestrating scenarios where employees would compete against each other for his approval, thus maintaining a climate of fear and control. This method, while effective in building MGM's success, also fostered a workplace environment that many described as oppressive. For instance, actress June Allison once remarked in an interview that while Mayer could be paternal and caring, his favor could shift rapidly, making MGM a place of golden chains. His tenure at MGM saw the studio flourish, with monumental successes in the 1930s and 1940s, yet his harsh methods left behind a trail of disgruntled former employees and a reputation for a toxic work atmosphere. Number 3. The Red Scare Exploiter. In the 1940s and 1950s, amidst America's intense fear of communism, Louis Mayer was a key player in Hollywood's anti-communist movement. He co-founded the Motion Picture Alliance for the Preservation of American Ideals in 1944, alongside figures like John Wayne and Walt Disney. This group played a central role in creating the Hollywood blacklist, which barred suspected communists from industry employment. Mayer's involvement was motivated by both ideological beliefs and a pragmatic aim to shield MGM from any communist affiliations. His significant role in the anti-communist hearings influenced the careers of many, including screenwriter Dalton Trumbo, who suffered years of unemployment. Mayer's actions significantly shaped the era's atmosphere of fear and repression in Hollywood. Number 4. Mayer's role in the casting couch culture. Louis Mayer's tenure at MGM also saw him embroiled in the darker aspects of Hollywood's culture, notably the infamous casting couch practices. This involved the exploitation of young actresses through the promise of roles in exchange for sexual favors. High-profile actresses, including Joan Crawford and Judy Garland, were allegedly subjected to Mayer's advances. Garland's biographer, Gerald Clark, describes an incident in his book Get Happy, The Life of Judy Garland, where a teenage Garland was groped by Mayer during a meeting in his office, prompting her to react defensively. Mayer's behavior was part of a broader pattern in the industry, but his position as a powerful studio head made his actions particularly influential and damaging. This behavior not only marred his reputation but also contributed to a long-standing toxic environment that affected countless women in the industry. These actions have been scrutinized in recent years, shedding light on the systemic issues within Hollywood that allowed such practices to persist. Number 5. Mayer's manipulative charm. Louis B. Mayer was not just a titan of the film industry, he was also a master of emotional manipulation, particularly evident during his tenure at MGM. He used his personal charm effectively to sway the decisions of stars and politicians alike. During contract negotiations, Mayer was known for his dramatic emotional outbursts, often shedding tears or showing overwhelming affection, to influence his stars into accepting deals less favorable to them but beneficial to MGM. An example is his handling of Judy Garland, where he reportedly used paternal affection to temper her demands for better compensation. Political figures were not immune to his charm either. Mayer often hosted lavish dinners for influential politicians, where he used his storytelling prowess and emotional appeals to lobby for legislative advantages for the film industry. His strategy was effective in maintaining MGM's favorable position during a time when Hollywood was under scrutiny from various political quarters. Number 6. A ruthless family man. Despite his public image as a devoted family man, Louis B. Mayer's private life with his family was less idyllic. He exercised strict control over his daughters, Edith and Irene, mirroring the autocratic way he managed MGM. Mayer's influence extended to their personal choices, including their marital decisions. He arranged Irene's marriage to David O. Selznick, which was more a strategic alliance than a romantic union, showcasing his penchant for controlling even the personal aspects of his family's lives. This authoritarian parenting style often caused friction and estrangement within his family, reflecting the dual nature of his personality: warm and charismatic in public, yet dominating and controlling in private. Number 7. Anti-Semitism accusations. Despite being Jewish, Louis B. Mayer faced anti-Semitism accusations due to his casting and thematic choices at MGM. Critics claimed he rarely hired Jewish actors or highlighted Jewish themes, aiming to not alienate the largely non-Jewish American audience. This practice was viewed as a betrayal by some in the Jewish community. Mayer's preference for a secular approach in films was strategic to avoid backlash during periods of heightened anti-Semitism in America. This tactic, though commercially sensible, sparked controversy and added complexity to his legacy concerning his cultural and religious identity, as noted in the biography MGM, Hollywood's Greatest Backlit. Number 8. Mayer and the Mob. Rumors of Louis B. Mayer's ties with organized crime have persisted, though no solid evidence confirms direct involvement. These speculations often centered on his relationships with union leaders, some with connections to organized crime, crucial for managing MGM's operations smoothly. During the labor disputes of the 1930s and 1940s, competitors used these rumors to question Mayer's ethical integrity, as detailed in The Last Mogul, Louis B. Mayer and the Decline of the Hollywood Studio System. Number 9. Mayer's lavish lifestyle and exploitation of wealth. Living a life of grandeur, Louis B. Mayer was the epitome of Hollywood luxury. His residence in Beverly Hills and his estate in the San Fernando Valley were legendary for their opulence and served as venues for some of the most lavish parties of the era, attended by Hollywood royalty. However, this extravagant lifestyle was contrasted sharply by his treatment of MGM employees. Mayer was notorious for his stringent control over salaries, often paying less than what was fair, even to his biggest stars. This led to numerous disputes, such as with Judy Garland, who was significantly underpaid compared to her box office draw. This disparity was highlighted during the 1938 labor disputes where, despite MGM's substantial profits, Mayer resisted wage increases, leading to strikes and bad press. This approach not only marred his relationships with talent but also painted him as a figure who exploited wealth at the expense of those who helped build his empire. Number 10. The Fall from Grace. The twilight years of Louis B. Mayer's career at MGM were marked by turbulence and decline. By the late 1940s, his traditionalist approach to filmmaking began to clash with the evolving tastes of the post-war audience, which sought more realism and innovation in cinema. His resistance to change and inability to adapt to new trends in film production gradually eroded his standing within the industry. This growing disconnect with the audience preferences and internal conflicts within MGM's leadership led to his ousting in 1951. His departure from MGM was a dramatic fall from power for a man who had once been an unchallenged titan of Hollywood. This end phase of his career is often seen as symbolic of the fading of the old Hollywood studio system, which was being replaced by new players and new ways of filmmaking, as detailed in The Lion of Hollywood, The Life and Legend of Louis Mayer by Scott Amon. Mayer's exit from MGM was not just the end of his career but also marked the end of an era in Hollywood history.